Hey everybody, this is yehdawg coming to you with yet another game from Red Bull Battlegrounds 2014, Washington DC, and this is going to be second game between Cure, who's going to be spawning as the red Terran at the bottom left-hand spawning location on Overgrowth, as the red Terran, yeah, and as the blue Terran, it's going to be CMS Storm Polt, who's going to be spawning as the blue Terran. So, last game, in Game 1, Polt was the winner. He was able to become victorious because of his awesome drop play, and also just because he starved his opponent. He contained Cure probably for the entire second half of that game. Cure wasn't able to drop Polt at any point because Polt was just on his A game. He was constantly being aggressive. It was pushing against all the expansions on the right side of the map for Cure. Cure wasn't able to secure his fourth or fifth expansion for too long, while Polt was sitting back on 5 expansions, fully mining, and so his economy was just so much more powerful than that of Cure's. So when it did come down to fighting, and both sides did lose a bunch of army supply, it was much harder for Cure to remax and rebuild an army because he just didn't have the income to do so, and Polt did. Polt, you magnificent bastard. So, for all of you who aren't familiar with Polt, he's actually a Korean who moved to America and is now living with a work visa because he's part of a U.S. team. And so he's actually pretty good with English. Like he does his own interviews at tournaments. He doesn't need a translator. I'm sure some things get lost in translation, but for the most part, he's really good, and it's impressive. You know, we've kind of adopted him in America. I say we because, hey guys, I'm American too. I'm first and foremost an American. But yeah, so like he's considered to be our Korean American hope. And so anytime he's in a tournament, people from the US always cheer super hardcore for him because we have this sense of pride, and he identifies with it too. And so we all just feel like there's some type of camaraderie between us and Polt. Whereas Cure, you dirty Korean scum, get out of here. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Both players going pretty much the same build right now. Both have gotten a Reaper out. Polt's getting a Reaper out. Going to be trying to get some scouting done. Same thing goes for Cure. Both have an SCV out on the field just to try and get some map control and maybe get his own Alga Tower. And both players putting down their expansions at their natural at the exact same time too. So both players going for pretty mirror builds right now. To really compare these two guys, they're really, really, really close. This is a close match between both players. It's not that one guy is so much better TVT than the other and has a better record. It's really, these guys are really close. It's the last game, if you saw, it was a very close game. It could have went either way. I mean, if Cure got some good plays off when it came to drops, he could have easily inched his way back into making it, making the game in his favor. But he didn't get those drops off, and Polt was able to, so that was why he was able to get a lead. These two Reapers gonna be coming into the base of Cure from Polt, but he is outnumbered 3-2, so he knows he has to back out of here. What's nice about Reapers is that since the Heartless Worm patch, they do have a healing ability, which is great for scouting, so they can poke in, do a little bit of harassment, and take a lot of damage, and in the meantime just hop on out and heal, and then so you can just come back and do it again. Great, I know, especially as a Protoss player, you hate that. These two Reapers from Cure are going to be poking into the base of Polt now that he knows that those two Reapers are not around. Polt's going to be getting out of Marine, but in the meantime, there's really nothing to defend his base against these two Reapers. I mean, he's got 2 Hellions coming out. Are these Reapers going to be able to take out some SCVs? They take out one, but by doing so, he loses both Reapers. But it's not complete loss by losing those Reapers. He was able to get an SCV, and he was able to get a good scout of the base of Polt. He's going to be going a 1-1-1 behind getting his natural completely saturated. Same thing goes for Cure. He's getting his natural saturated at this point, and he's also went a 1-1-1, and he's going to be going for a 3rd command center actually. So he's going to be going for the greedy build. He has both gases. He is going to be switching. He's got a tech lab. He did get a tech lab. I thought it was going to be for, getting early stim or something, but I think he's going to be switching this this starport over to the tech lab. Maybe for some banshees, because that could be what his plan is. Because already from Polt, he is going to be getting his cloak research for his banshees, and one is already coming out, and it should be out in the near future. Both players very close. This is going to be a very close game. If we look at the income, you know, it's almost identical. 31 harvesters to 28 from CMS Polt. I mean, he's a little bit behind in terms of income, but he's going to be coming in here with these Hellions, going to be trying to do some harassment. Isn't able to do much. If we look at units lost, Polt does seem to have more units lost. I think he just because he lost those Reapers in the early part of the game. Also, I think right here he did lose a couple Hellions. So it is a little bit. It does put him down a little bit of a disadvantage, but you know that's just because it's a mirror matchup. Like every unit counts in a mirror matchup. It can wiping like a small army in the middle of the map can make or break the game. He actually isn't going to be going for Banshees, but Banshees from Polt is going to be coming across the map. Cloak is completely researched, so he does have that. He's going to be taking out one SCV, he's going to take out some Marines, but there is a Viking and also a Raven out for Cure, so he's going to be able to see this Banshee. Banshee's going to take out another SCV, takes out another SCV. Dang, how many SCVs did he kill? Workers kill are 7, so Polt is inching his way back into the game. Granted, he did lose some army supply, but he is able to take out some of the mineral line workers from Cure, which is going to definitely hamper his economy. If you look at the income tab, now it's 39 to 42, which then puts Polt in the economic advantage. Always good to do these things. Like, you might think that, okay, Polt invested a lot into just getting that Banshee out and getting cloak research, but in all honesty, it doesn't do too much. It's not too much, especially if you can get a lead like this and then keep that lead, which he just lost because he stopped making SCVs. But +1/+1 attack coming out from both players. Stim is being researched right now, half finished for Cure, and same thing goes for +1 armor. He's gonna be getting that out too. He did see the Banshee, so he's gonna be putting down some missile towers around his base, but he's gonna be putting down a bunch of barracks, so he's gonna be looking to do some aggression and also expand behind this. But Polt's got a Hellion over at the third base of Cure, so he's going to know all about this. That Hellion gets taken out, and now Cure is going to take his turn, move across the map, get some map control, may possibly take out some straggling units. This Banshee sitting over here at this yehdawg tower, he's like chilling. He knows he can't get into the base because there's a Raven in there. Cure's going to be taking out 3 more Hellions from Polt, but he's got to be careful. I'm not sure. Yeah, he did scan, so he does know Polt's going to have a siege line right at his base, because if he ran straight into that, that would have been horrible. Sees that there is no third base out for Polt right now. Polt going to be researching combat shields, going to be getting all this tech. I think he's going to go for a timing attack, because he does have his production buildings all done. He's running off of 5 racks, 1 factory, and 1 starport. And yeah, if we look at the food supply, it's 105 and 103. He's going to be streaming across the map with his units, just trying to see, maybe get some damage on this third expansion. If we look at the army supply, Polt does seem to have a slight lead. He does have an army supply of 60 to 47. So that is a pretty good lead, especially if he can get in here and get a good siege on this tank line. There are only 2 siege tanks, so that's not a lot to deal with. Armory coming down from Cure, and his upgrades are right about to pop. I think Polt was going to attack because his upgrades were already done, so he always wanted to attack into that. He actually doesn't have +1 armor. He's going to be getting control of the yehdawg tower, but if we look at the upgrades of Cure, he's got +1 defense already completed, and it doesn't even seem like Polt is going for +1 defense at this point. But a drop coming into the main is Raven putting auto turrets over at the natural expansion of Polt, and then another drop of Hellions, a Hellion run by coming into the third base of Polt. So that was able to do some damage. Let's see how many workers he was able to kill with that. Was able to kill 18 workers. Ooh, oh wait, that's units. Wait, is that workers? Workers kill. No, that's 18. That's a lot. And Polt's gonna retaliate. He's gonna be moving across the map with his force right now. We look at the army supply, it's 67 to 76, so it does seem like Cure has taken the lead, and that does make sense because guess what? He's got this third expansion up and running. That does mean he's got 3 mining bases, so the production of Cure is going to just skyrocket. the more time this base is up. Polt should know this, so he needs to be putting on some harassment. He needs to do some drops into the main. Otherwise, he needs to get his third up and running. But another Hellbat run by into the third expansion of Polt is able to be stopping the mining and is able to take out a couple more workers, 2 more workers. While Polt's army is just kind of in the middle of the map. He's got 92 now, so I guess the army supply is kind of even. He's going to be trying to look to destroy the third base and possibly hamper the economy of Cure. But I don't know, Cure's army is still pretty good. He's got a lot of Marines, got this big bioforce. He's got to be careful of this siege line. Doesn't want to lose too many Marines to the tank fire. And Polt's going to be flying a medevac and get the high ground vision. He's going to be able to take out the Vespi Geyser. Big engagement, bunch of Marines going down from both sides. But it just seems like Cure has way more Marines. He's going to be stimming, just pushing straight into the forces of Polt. It's going to be taking out all the tanks, all the Marines. They go down. But in the meantime, if you look, the army supply is not too bad. It's not... Oh, actually, if you look at the actual supply, Cure is up by almost 30. So that just shows the production of having a 3-base Terran much earlier than your opponent. Polt just doesn't have what it takes in terms of economy, because he's still getting his third base saturated, but yet he still needs to produce an army to deal with this sizable force from Cure, who's got a bunch of medevacs, he's got tanks, he's got heavily upgraded Marines. Plus 2 armor is going to be coming out from Polt, but it's still not finished. These Marines are just 2-2 versus 1-0 Marines. Tanks going down from Polt, and Cure is just going to be pushing him with this really big Marine force that Polt really doesn't have an answer for. These Marines are more heavily upgraded than Polt, and they're just way too many, and Polt's just going to GG out of this. He does not have what it takes in terms of army supply to deal with this sizable force from Cure. And that's GG. That's all she wrote. That's all there is to this game. And then Cure is going to be taking game 2 of this best of 3 series. So it's going to be tied up 1-1 between Polt and Cure. If you analyze that game, really, if you just take a look as to why Cure was able to amass such a big army, it's because, well, of course, he was off 3 bases much earlier than Polt. Polt, he wasn't able to get his third expansion up and running as fast as he'd like, because he did go for that early Banshee harass. The thing is, Banshees are kind of expensive. I know earlier I said that even if you got a Banshee, it's not too much of a commitment. It's true if you kind of bail out really easily. I mean, really fast, and tech switch really fast and don't actually go for the cloak. But he did go for the cloak. He did invest in 2 Banshees, and he was only able to kill 2 SCVs. And that does not pay for itself as a Terran player who's going to be going for cloak. So obviously, if you go for that, you're not going to have the minerals and the gas to spend on another command center and get that saturated, because you just spent that on getting Banshees out. So because Cure didn't go for that, he was able to get his third expansion up and running. He was able to get the production in his base going, and after he got the third saturated, he just cut SCVs and he just decided to produce a lot of Marines. And the thing is, these weren't just any type of Marines. These were combat shield upgraded, and also 2-2 Marines compared to the +1/+1 Marines of Polt. So obviously, the number of Marines from Cure compared to Polt was just way more. He had almost double the Marines. Oh, actually, it just appeared like that because all of Polt's Marines just shredded away to the highly upgraded Marine bullets of Cure's army. So, yeah, upgrades really good. Don't forget to get those, because if your army in a mirror matchup has less upgrades than the other opponent, and you're not up in army supply, you're gonna be hitting a deficit in terms of how much DPS you can output and how much damage your unit's gonna be taking. So Cure takes game number 2. Let's see if Polt can take it back and win this best of 3 series, or if Cure can just keep this keep the ball rolling and roll on the momentum and win the series 2-1. So if you liked the game, if you want to see more casts from me, yehdawg, please subscribe, stick around. And also, if you have any comments you'd like to make about my casting style, some improvements I need to make, I know I need to be a little bit more accurate with my analysis. Sometimes when I'm talking, I get carried away and I say things that aren't true. I like to fib. No, it's just practice. So the more I cast, I think the more I understand the game. I think the better I'll get at it. So, but if you notice anything, any mistakes I made in particular, please point them out. But be nice. Don't be like, you fucking idiot. How could you not know that? That's not cool, man. Seriously, just say some useful comments, and I'll take it into consideration and be like, thanks, bruh, thanks. Yeah. So like the video if you did like it, and also share if you want to share it with some people and be like, yo, this guy sucks, or he's really good. Either way, share it. It doesn't matter to me. It gets some YouTube fame. All right, this is yehdawg, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.